What up, brawlers? Welcome back to Throwin Hands. It's been a little minute, but we're back. We're back. Breck, how you feeling about this weekend?
Good. Good. Excited for multiple events going on this weekend that are pretty exciting.
Yep. So we're gonna start off with the UFC fight night. Talk about two fights here. Kevin Lee fits into this. He's fighting Daniel Rodriguez. That's a solid matchup to open up welterweight for Kevin Lee. What do you think, man?
It's interesting. We haven't seen him since he got submitted by Charles Oliveira back in Brazil, the first event without fans, if you remember.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Lee in this one. I know Daniel Rodriguez is coming off, I think, back-to-back wins, right?
I think 3 or 4 in a row.
3 or 4 in a row, and his jab is pretty. He's got like a piston of a jab, but man, I saw this video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like Kevin Lee is the greatest first-round fighter, like, of all time, and then the adrenaline dump happens, and he just like becomes a different person.
Yeah,
and just gets beaten up. So if Kevin Lee can, hopefully in the last year or so that he's been off, he's worked on cardio. But I mean, in terms of tools and fight, like, he's so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. If he could piece it together, he could become a title challenger in this division, I think. Agreed. So who do you got in this one, man?
I'll go Kevin Lee via finish.
I'm going Kevin Lee, and then he's going to fit right into that top 10.
Hopefully.
All right, here we go. Edson Barbosa versus Giga Chikadze. This is exciting. This is really fun. Someone's gonna die with it's gonna end with kicks. What do you think? What's your thoughts on this one?
Giga's been talking a lot about there's levels to striking, and he's a great striker, but it's like, does he know who he's fighting? He's fighting Edson Barbosa. Like, the guy is a highlight reel every time he fights. And I mean, I just don't know how you feel about this fight, but I'm leaning Edson. I understand, like, the Giga kick. And, yeah, he looked great against Cub Swanson, but, like, Cub Swanson's a little bit older, you know what I mean? Like, he's not in the prime. And I know Edson isn't in his prime, but he's a much better fighter now than Cub Swanson is.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Edson Barbosa had one of the most brutal knockouts I've ever seen when he knocked out Shane Burgos with that delayed knockout.
His knockout on Beneil Dariush.
His spinning back kick.
He's got like 3 spinning back kick KOs. He's one of the most entertaining fighters to watch ever.
Nothing's projected with this guy. You never know what he's going to throw.
Dude, the speed of his leg kicks are unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. All right, man. Predictions. Who you got?
Edson Barbosa, 4th round TKO.
Ooh, I'm going Barbosa by decision.
By decision? Yeah, I mean,
I think they might be so timid of each other that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for this fight night, but Sunday is where it really kicks in. I hate talking about Jake Paul, but we have to for the views, you know. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley in an 8-round professional boxing match. What's your thoughts on this one going into it, Breck?
I said it last time. We were so confident in Ben. We were rooting for Ben. We were confident. We're like, Ben's gonna get it done. It didn't happen that way. It went the worst way possible. And we're just going to hope this time that doesn't happen, because if it does happen, MMA's taking a little bit of a hit.
I think we'd have to send someone like Calvin Kattar in there to clean up Jake Paul.
If Tyron Woodley can't beat him, we're going to have to send in, like, Yuri Prohaska, or like
Stipe.
Yeah, we need somebody like.
We'll just give him Ngannou.
All that being said, I really do think Tyron Woodley knocks him out. Because, like, Ben Askren landed a clean punch.
Ben Askren
landed a clean punch, and it obviously did nothing because he has no power. If Tyron Woodley lands the same punch,
it's over.
It's
the patented overhand right.
I think that's probably how he gets it done. And, I mean, he's been training with, he's probably had the best, trainers he's ever had, and trained with Floyd. So I think we're okay. I don't think it's going to be the same again.
Here's my thing. Tyron Woodley has trained with Mundo Boxing. That's top tier when it comes to boxing. You got Floyd. And one thing I've noticed about Jake Paul's training partners is that when he spars them, Jake never wears headgear. He's never challenged in training. Because if he was being challenged, he'd be wearing headgear. So I honestly don't think Jake knows what he's up against. Tyron Woodley's hand speed is next level.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, there's been some stories like some sparring partners, Jake and the Paul brothers bring in that like beat them up and then don't get invited back to spar because they beat them up. You know what I mean? Like, I think there was a former UFC fighter who was a sparring partner. But I mean, the one little silver lining I do take from it is, like, I don't know if you saw the story, like some of the sparring partners for this camp that Jake brought in were like Bellator guys.
Yeah.
And they got paid more for sparring than their entire Bellator contract for the entire year. That's like pretty good, but just shows you fighter pay.
Yeah.
But,
just think about, I mean, Tyron Woodley's 39, but his mentality is completely different going into this, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw yesterday the whole like Mama Woodley incident that brought the entire MMA community.
Screw those guys.
Rallied the troops. Jake made it a little personal, which maybe he's trying to get into his head, but I don't think that's going to work on Tyron, who's been a champion. And I think we're going to see a vicious Tyron in there.
So, what's your prediction, man?
What? It's 8 rounds, right?
8 rounds. Let me check up on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 8 rounds.
2-minute rounds, right?
Yeah, 3-minute rounds.
3-minute rounds. Oh, I thought they were going 2. You can never tell with these new wave of boxing. It's like every fight is like either different amount of rounds, different times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll go 6th round KO Tyron Woodley.
Here's one thing you have to consider too. Tyron's not cutting down to 170. He only has to cut down to 190.
190. So I mean, it's kind of like what he
walks around at 205.
Yeah, he's got to feel great for this then. You know?
Here's going to be my prediction. Tyron Woodley's just going to pressure the whole time. He's just going to go forward, get Jake's back foot up against the ring, and then I think he should just pepper Jake with body shots. If you've watched Jake Paul, it's a very fundamental boxing game. There's nothing special about it. But I think Tyron Woodley might add some things in there as he's been doing this, training striking for 16 years at this point. So what I think is going to happen is when it gets down to the 4th round, Tyron Woodley's going to dig a left hook to the body, and then Jake won't fall to the ground. He's going to get hurt. Then boom, overhand right, flat on the canvas. It's over.
I can see it. You know what? Tyron should like utilize his size too, because he'll be a little bit bigger, like you just said. He should use the Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder method where Tyson leaned on him. Like Tyron Woodley should use that weight when they, tie up. Put his body weight on him, make it like so he's just like you said, the pressure, like suffocate him the entire time.
Yeah, and like squeeze him when they dude. I'm honestly very excited. I hate to admit it, but I'm so excited for this.
I know. That's the thing. I hate it, but I can't lie. I'm very excited.
And there's some other good fights on this card too. You got Tommy Fury fighting. You got women's boxing getting shown. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't think people realize that Tommy Fury would absolutely kill Jake Paul.
He might. That's a potential matchup in the future.
Here's the thing. That'll happen if Jake Paul beats Tyron, but I don't want Tyron to lose.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, if Tommy wins and Jake wins, they'll fight each other next. That'll be the next fight.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I hate to say it, but I'm so excited.
They promoted it really well.
Can you imagine just overhand right to the temple when he's out on the canvas?
Oh, it'd be great. The only thing, I mean, it's turned into a circus and a lot of like purists hate it. So it is a big weekend in the sense that if Tyron just starches this guy within like 2 rounds, this whole like celebrity boxing thing will kind of take a back seat, and we'll see more. We'll still see the celebrity boxing, but more of like old like retired boxers instead of YouTube people.
Not Lamar Odom and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like we'll actually see some people with fighting experience fighting.
So I only play this be 15 minutes, so we got one more. What'd you say?
Is Vitor fighting on this card, or is that next? Is that
that's next week, I think.
That's next week. He looked
Yeah. Isn't he fighting? Who's he fighting?
Isn't he?
Tito?
No, Tito's fighting Anderson Silva.
Oh God, that'd be so fun.
Anderson's going to destroy Tito, but whoever is he fighting Oscar De La Hoya?
Yes, he's fighting Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah. If you're a big MMA fan, dating back years, the mythical fighter legend that is TRT Vitor. And let me tell you, have you seen any pictures of him lately? Let me tell you, he's back on the juice.
Has he posted stuff on Instagram?
Dude, they're letting him use the juice. There's no way. You ever see those pictures of him in like 2013 and 2017? He's like lost like all of his muscle.
Oh wow, he's yoked.
And he's like 50, so like you're not gaining that muscle without big help.
No.
So I mean, I don't know about you, TRT Vitor. He's a mythical MMA figure.
Yeah.
Like sea-level Kane.
I gotta bring up a couple more things. First off, Tito Ortiz is the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to the content.
I mean, if you just want to have a good laugh, just watch anything on Twitter about Tito
Dana
Ortiz.
White is so right about him. He thinks he's very smart, but he's the dumbest person alive.
That's an accurate statement.
One more thing, Edgar.
Oh yeah.
Chito Vera booked for MSG on November.
I love the fight. I don't love it for Edgar. I think it's a bad matchup for him. But
I want Cheeto. I love Cheeto, man.
I think Cheeto's gonna climb. I think he's gonna keep winning because he's so talented. But Edgar's first time in MSG since 2016, I think.
Yeah.
Back, home, be in front of home, fans and family, which is good for him. It'll be a big fight, but it's just tough to see him beating him, And it's tough. The last two fights for Edgar, I mean, you got to respect the guy's pretty old, and he's fought Corey Sandhagen and Chito Vera. It's tough.
The fact that he's been around this long, man, and is still so good.
He's been in some wars too, like the who do you have the trilogy with?
Gray Maynard.
Gray Maynard, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I mean, those Gray Maynard fights are insane. They were throwing bombs the entire fight, no defense. It's crazy he's still around.
It is amazing. It really is. All right, Breck. Any final thoughts on this weekend?
No, we are all rooting for Tyron Woodley, the MMA community. It must happen. He cannot fail us like Ben failed us last time. Let's just hope he doesn't take a dive and get the win.
Yes. Well, Breck, it's good to be back. We're back. We will review Monday.
And there's some really good cards coming up in the future.
Oh, Till Brunson next week. Let's go.
I mean, we're about a month and a half away from Blachowicz, Teixeira.
2 months. The next card is Shevchenko, Murphy, and Volk and Ortega, and Diaz Lawler.
Great cards coming up. Great cards.
All right, guys. We're gonna catch you later on Tuesday for the review of this past weekend.